Thank you,
Okay.
Lucy, for the invite.
All right. It's a pleasure to meet you here. So I guess we can start now. Yes. So we can start. So yeah, over to you.
Yeah, definitely. How many people were you expecting on this call?
Um, expecting about 50 persons to join.
50.
Yes. But
Okay.
I get it's a Monday evening, so I guess some people are still on their way back home, and to definitely join the call. I'm very sure of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe
So do
give
you want us to wait for a while?
yeah, give like 2, 3 minutes for like people to come in.
All
Oh,
right, that's fine.
I know Stan. I'm wearing my Nigerian jersey today. This is by accident.
Yeah,
I didn't have any other shirt, literally.
Oh, I
Uh,
see.
laundry day.
Uh,
Um, okay, guys, I'm gonna turn off the camera just because of the bandwidth. All
okay.
right. All right. So, I guess a very short introduction on my part. My name is Uche, as previously noted. I am a CTO of a fintech company called PayHippo, and I'm also the executive director at a educational nonprofit called Enye. Um, and a bit about Enye's history. We have been in operation now for about a little above 3 years, going on 4. We started with trying to teach software development to college level students, and we didn't really find a lot of success doing that. And we sort of pivoted towards mentorship slash upskilling people who were already sort of who have already sort of gotten their feet wet in learning how to code. Um, but and like since our inception, we have sort of pivoted. We have reformed, refactored our vision, and now we are in the domain of both training and upskilling engineers and pairing them with founders in Nigeria who want to get their MVP built. So engineers get to learn, founders get to like sort of have a pseudo product built at the same time. And yeah, I would definitely be more than willing to talk more about that at the very end of this presentation. I will leave lots and loads of time for questions if you have any. Well, so today's goal is basically to talk about how to you as an engineer to gain access to job opportunities. Um, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that I am the premier expert in locating opportunities and finding them, but I can say that I have enough experience in this area to give like accurate advice, and it's up to you to sort of decide what you want to do with that advice. And this is not going to be a very like super formal presentation. I will try my best to keep the information very nicely self-contained, very consumable, and um, and yeah, feel free at any point in this presentation to stop me, ask questions. Don't be shy. This is a safe space. Okay. Well, so I created a presentation for y'all, and I'm gonna share my screen. But before I start, are there any sort of questions, thoughts, concerns? Okay, I would take it. The silence as no, there is nothing. Okay, cool. All right. right. Can you guys see my screen? I actually need someone to tell me if you can see my screen. Yes or no?
Yeah,
Yes, we can.
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So again, um, the title sort of hints at what we will be talking about today. So the general agenda, we'll have an overview. We'll talk about just like problems that you already have insights into, and we will really focus on one of those problems. We'll talk a little bit about upskilling, and again, about Enye at the very end. So, an overview of the world as we know it. It's becoming increasingly more distributed and remote, and in these very unusual times, this is mainly how a lot of companies have sort of shifted towards. So, you as an engineer, being in Nigeria, you can literally work for anyone, anywhere, if you know how to source appropriately, if you know how to network appropriately, if you if you're doing the things that show that you are someone of value, right? And we'll kind of touch upon it's valuable for like some of these companies, but we won't go into too much detail. Um, and like, I don't know if you know this, but Nigeria is well positioned to be the premier tech capital of Africa. It is sort of running a little bit behind Kenya in some parts, and Egypt, um, in terms of quality of engineers, whereas Kenya has better funded startups. Egypt has better engineers, and that is just the current fact of it all right now. But Nigeria is up and coming. Its strength is that it just has the sheer population. One, almost, I believe, it's like 1 in 6 Africans are from Nigeria, and soon it will be a lot more than that. Um, you know, and the other advantage is that a lot of the youth, most people have cell phones. They're beginning to understand technology, and there's a huge push towards finding ways to use technology to solve real world problems. And I'm happy to to say that I am a part of this sort of creative solutions, and I'm happy to say that it is abundant in Nigeria, and so the trend is in the right way. But there are some problems on the global level. The biggest issue that any company will tell you is that there isn't enough high quality engineers, and it's not a problem in Nigeria, only in Nigeria. It's literally a problem everywhere. I'm not going to go into the stats. You can look it up yourself. But um, but this is some of the problems that, like, programs like Enye and the other ones like Utiva, um, Semicolon, and the various other organizations in Nigeria are trying to solve. Nationally, uh, the the sad truth of it right now is that, especially for the well-funded, top-tier um, tech startups in Nigeria, they look outside of Nigeria to hire their engineers. And what I keep hearing time and time again is just, I'm not gonna hire a Nigerian engineer. I'm not gonna hire a Nigerian engineer just because of um, the the issue of the quality of the engineer. And this is a huge problem that can be easily mitigated. um Sorry, not easily, that can be mitigated um over time, but it needs a shift of perspective on the individual engineering front. And so on the individual level, there's a ton of engineers who cannot find jobs, or they do find a job and it's Jesus. They do find a job. Is it possible for you to mute yourself if you're in traffic? But yeah, but they do find a job, but and it's not in a company that they're excited about. They're not being paid appropriately. Um, and so this is what we're going to sort of focus on. It's how can you as a rising engineer find the appropriate opportunity for your skill level, for your wants, for your needs. Find an opportunity that aligns with you, maybe morally. Maybe this is like a place you plan to um, eventually run your own company in. Like for whatever motivations you have, how can you find that alignment? Um, so to be honest, uh, half of it is luck. Most of it is luck. I would say 99.9% of it is luck. And then the other part is you just being prepared enough to realize, recognize, to spot, to identify that luck when it happens. If you're not in that mindset um, to be able to receive it, it will not, like it will come and pass you by, but you didn't have the skill, you didn't have the experience, you didn't have the sort of exposure um, to either the market or the technology at hand for you to be able to receive that luck. So what we're going to talk about are some like key strategies, uh, and again, I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but I will sort of hint at like very very high level, just talk about these this short list of strategies, and just to let you know, this list is not exhaustive. There are thousands of strategies for you to like land a key a great opportunity. These ones are just ones that I have noticed are like the most common ones. But before we sort of go into that, I know I've talked for a while. Does anyone have any questions at hand so far? Okay, all right. We will continue forward. We'll leave the questions for the end, I guess. Cool. So, um, the general strategies that most people sort of apply. Number one, I call it the shoot and pray. You this is the worst strategy. This is you go on a company's website and then you just apply to the job, and then you hope that they will respond to you eventually. And I mean it is, although it is a bad strategy, it is a strategy, right? It is going to work eventually. Given that this is just a numbers game, if you apply to enough positions, eventually a percentage of those jobs will like a percentage of those companies will reach out to you. However, the return of investment in terms of time is incredibly poor with this first strategy. And this is what most people do. They just apply to a website or job posting, and then pray that someone somewhere will respond to them. Okay, the next one, a much better strategy, but it works better if you are somewhat experienced. If you have like a year or two of I'm sorry, chat. Sorry, please can we get a recorded meeting after? Um, Yeah, Lucy, is it possible for you to record? I guess if you haven't already been. Oh, I think it is
Yes,
recording.
I'm recording.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one is I call it the research assistant. Again, it works better if you are more senior because you can be um, a lot more maybe not senior, more experience, but a lot more picky on the companies that you apply to. It's much more like trying to find the best fit. I want a company that is an education that deals with, I don't know, animal life, education and animal life. And then you really, really research these companies in depthly. You understand their whole market. You understand the the problem that they're trying to solve. Um, and so then when you do like reach out to them, you are coming from a place of much a holistic understanding of their company, and it shows when you talk to their um, recruiters or whoever handles um, onboarding engineers, uh, prospective engineers. um, however, just being a research assistant alone, it's not going to get you that job. I think it's much better than the shoot and pray. But uh, there's more, okay? And then there's a much better strategy where you are, and this strategy does not work for everyone because it works best for people who are more extroverted. And this is the social bee, and it's very, you can tell by the name what I'm trying to get to here. Okay, these are the people who are going to every meetup event, who are, at the event they are connecting, like handing out their card, getting people's LinkedIn number, getting their emails, following up, inviting like people to coffee. They're really, they know how to sort of, they understand that networking is the number one key to finding an opportunity, and they leverage that heavily. So imagine if you have researched a company deeply and then you go to one of their events, if they do have an event, and really have intelligent conversations with uh, with any of the recruiters or engineers that might be present at some of these events. These events can be like hackathons. If a company is going to host an in-person hackathon, it's really for people to come and meet them, and get access to like whatever product that they're selling, but also to like meet their team. Um, so we'll sort of talk about how you can still maintain, if you are a social bee, how you can still sort of maintain that sort of approach in these sort of COVID times. Yeah. So look, if you this is an addition to or the next level from building your own projects. Projects are like things that you play with. Oh, I want to learn some machine learning. You like build a little pet project that like does something. Um, but building your own company just shows that you are multifaceted. You can handle responsibilities. Um, you can you can uh, you can work constructively with people, because building a company is very difficult. It shows that you are just a much more um, um, well-rounded individual, and you're valuable. And it brings a ton of credibility to who you are, to your whole process, to 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 the sort of person you will be at company X. You know, you're going to be someone who's going to try to take on responsibilities. You're going to be coming up with creative solutions. You're going to be a go-getter. You're going to be proactive. And if you build your own company, whether or not it fails, it will, people will only see it as a positive. So hint, hint, build your own companies if you can. Uh, and I mean, there's a ton of other strategies, and I'm in no way, shape, or form am I going in depth into any of these. These are just things that you should be doing, and you can do a combination of these things. It's not just one thing, and will like work for like everyone. You know, you can be a social bee and like and still go to a boot camp and work in open source. Um, and and do your own project. Just take it, mix and match, and a combination of these things will paint you as someone that um, that is of value to company X or Y. Um, but there are certain things that I think will absolutely improve your chances. And I know for certain that most people enjoy being in their comfort zone. There's some rare human beings that are always willing to step out of their comfort zone. And if you're struggling to find jobs or to find opportunities, it requires you to step out of your comfort zone. It requires you to think in a creative way, to put yourself out there, to reach out to individuals, to ask for help, to really, really network. Networking is the number one key. You hear it 1,000 times, and I will say it 1,001 times. You have to network. You have to meet people. You have to genuinely connect with them, and if you connect with them over time, you can ask them for help. Especially, hey, is your company hiring? Yeah, we are hiring. Here's a recommendation. You don't go through the company website. You go through someone. You go through a recommendation. And that's why LinkedIn is such a powerful tool. If you guys are not on it, you should be. Reach out to like people you are, 2, 3 connections away, and like ask them about the company that they work at, and see if they would be willing to like sit down for a coffee to just talk about um, their life, their like everyday life, what they do, each week. Um, and then like from there, like once you have, talked enough with them, you can ask them, hey, are you guys hiring? Would it be possible for you to recommend me? Recommendations are the key for you to get hired. The return on time is much, much higher. Um, and I know for certain that people are just not going to do it because they're too shy. They're not comfortable with just reaching out and like playing this whole like doing this whole dance that networking requires. If you don't do it, you're not going to get what you want as fast. It is a shortcut. Um, and then to like sort of go back on some of the points I made earlier. If you're more entry level, you need to build projects because you don't have any work experience. So you need to sort of highlight. Uh, they do too. Okay. You need to sort of highlight that you're able to use these technologies to create something. It doesn't matter what it is. You have to show that you can create things. So projects are key if you're entry level. If you're more experienced, I would definitely say be more of the researcher. Be very picky and diligent on the companies that you are going to be working at. You already have the experience now. You have to understand the market, and really make sure that it is going to be a right fit for you. It's you're interviewing the company as much as they're interviewing you because you have experience, you have value, you have years of accumulated knowledge. So and then here is the thing that I keep finding isn't necessarily consistent in the Nigerian market. And if you do this one thing, it will shift how people perceive you as an engineer. um, and that is having opinions about technology. Okay, here's like, why do you like React over Angular? Oh, like it's cool. Everyone else is using it. I mean, those are not your own opinions, right? So like being able to speak intelligently about the technologies that you want to work in or work with gives you credibility, makes it makes you come off, even if you're entry level, but it makes you come off as more senior, because and as someone who can really work fast and like grasp other more complex concepts. Why do you like React? I like that is, one way, like data bound, and that, or like maybe that it has great, community support, is backed by Facebook, so blah blah blah, whatever it is. I didn't really do a good job of defending my preference for React, but like you have to have opinions, and you have to be able to reasonably back them up with well thought out answers. Especially if you're talking to anyone senior, they will know if you're bullshitting them. So don't do that. Don't fake it. Um, Accumulate actual knowledge. It helps if you practice some of your answers um, before any of these interviews, or or when you're networking with people, or when you're talking in at a like a hackathon or a conference of some kind. It's important that you come up as someone who has knowledge, who's knowledgeable. So here is my favorite strategy, and I'm basically going to just read off what I wrote here, but this is a strategy that I have used to get a job before, so I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt it works. And the reason it works is because it shows that you are willing to put in the effort to to get the work done. You are like you can do the appropriate amount of research to understand what are the pain points for the user. Um, Hello, can you please mute yourself as you come on? I can mute you. Not a problem. And so, but it also works a bit more if you are a little bit more senior. This is not I wouldn't say this is necessarily an entry level sort of approach, but it will work if you're entry level. I just think it's just a lot harder. Um, but, uh, but just about any company, any team, any startup that is trying to sell a product is going to have a sales team. So reach out to their sales team. Uh, you don't have to right away tell them that you are interviewing, and like let them like pitch you a little bit about the idea, and then as the conversation moves forward, like let them know that you are interviewing, and that will force them to sort of shift from a salesy sort of mindset to a more relaxed, hey, okay, we're just having a conversation. And, oh, okay, let me tell you about this company. And once you let them know that you're interviewing, they will tell you both the good and the bad. At least in my opinion, if they truly like the company, they might go a little bit just on the good. Um, but the key point is to get them to tell you what are the biggest pain points about the product at hand. Like, why does this product not work well? What are customers complaining about? What are the engineers um, uh, not working on, but has been sort of been on the roadmap for a while? What is just broken in the product, and the sales team knows this because customers call in all the time and complain about these things. Um, and you can also do this for the customer service team as well, whatever sales team, customer care team, whichever team. And believe me, Like there are going to be a lot of things broken, and then it's up to you to sort of see, to sort of determine which of these broken things you would like to work on or like to fix, and then build a solution. I also forgot to mention this. You should only do this if you are coming in for like an in-person interview, or if you are going to be moving towards like the final round, or this is past the recruiter phase. You've already talked to the recruiter. You've probably talked to one of the engineering managers, and now they want you to meet the rest of the engineers, maybe meet the CTO or the CEO. Doing this will blow them out of the freaking water. Um, because as you're going through your rounds of like interviews, you demo, you present this solution that you built to them, and like they will be taken aback, super surprised, and very, very happy to know that you took the time and effort to go and research their problems deeply enough, and additionally build a solution to that problem. It doesn't even matter if it's a great solution. Just the fact that you built something and it kind of works, just it checks all the boxes for them. And you're basically hired. From this point, it's literally your game to lose. You're up by 7 points, and you just gotta play goalie defense for 5 more minutes, and you have the job. It is my favorite strategy. I recommend it to um, to all the engineers that I mentor within Enye and outside of Enye. And they too have found great success with this. Not everyone acts upon it, but the ones that do, great success. Um, so I've been talking for a while. I think it's appropriate to sort of break, especially around strategies and improving chances before we go to the next phase. Any questions, guys and girls?
Yes, I have a question, please.
Okay, Ruth, go ahead.
Okay, concerning the strategies you mentioned, the way you listed them, is it according to how efficient they are, or you just listed them randomly?
Yeah, there's no preference there. The only one that I really voiced a sort of dislike to was the first one. I listed it this way is because the first one is what most people do, right? You just go onto a website and you apply, and then some people and then the next one, people are a little bit more like research oriented, but there are so many strategies. And just to rehash what I was saying, it's going to be a combination of these strategies that will help you land that like dream job of yours. You can't only just shoot and pray. That's not a good use of time. You can do it as a third of your strategy, but then you have to do other things as well. Um, and so there is a bit of like preference. I really love number 9, and but it's the hardest one, and it's more like long term. It's like this strategy will pay off in 2 years, kind of thing. If you're looking for more immediate sort of things, 1 to 8, 1 through 8 is what you need to do. 7, it takes like a couple months. Like it's usually these boot camps are 2 to 3 months long. 6 is also an extension of 9, so let's take that off. But yeah, again, this list is not exhaustive. There's many other ones, and we'll kind of go into it some more. Other questions?
For now, no from me.
Not for you. Okay. All right. So let's move past improving your chances. My secret strategy. So no, oh well, but Uche, it's COVID. What can we do? I mean, I don't. Again, I think the nature of being an engineer doesn't necessarily require that you're physical. So this um, COVID doesn't necessarily impact um, our abilities to get opportunities. Everything can be done online or semi in person. You just have to get creative. I know for sure that at least on Facebook, there's always some sort of event that you can zoom into, and they usually like stop for a Q&A. They have all the information there, like available for you to email them. Um, Getting some feedback from one of you guys. I'm gonna mute you. Sorry. Um, Mute and mute. Why isn't the mute working? Anyways, so uh, yeah. So instead of physical like meetups, like there are Zoom conferences that you should leverage. There are online hackathons. Um, um, Here at Enye, we'll be hosting one in about a month or so. Um, Leverage Twitter, leverage LinkedIn. I know multiple people who literally just DM'd either the CTO, the hiring manager of a company that they were interested in, that they researched, and they were able to get uh, um, get an interview appropriately, and eventually land a job. This is a story that I've heard time and time again. It works. Leverage the internet. It is your friend, especially right now. There's a platform called angel.co, um, and I've leveraged it. I was able to find one of my co-founders for the first company that I helped co-found. Um, Sorry, Ruth. I need to please keep yourself muted, please, or uh, yeah, hit to roll. Um, And so there's a ton of opportunities there. There's a ton of job openings. Some of them are paid, some of them are equity, and some of them are volunteer. And I would say this is a great way to just upskill, for you to build, work on real life code. You might not get paid, but you're like the experience that you're going to be getting is tremendous. For me, you know, I I transitioned the company that I helped found on Angel Darko into like a nice paying job. Um, and if I didn't have that experience, I would never have been able to land that job. And I was only paid in excuse me, I was only paid in equity. I wasn't paid in actual money, but it paid off later on down the line. There's a ton of workshops that are very similar to the Zoom conference and stuff, um, that you can sign up for, where people will sort of guide you through lessons. One of our mentors at Enye, Valentino, leads a weekly workshop where he explains very high level concepts about React, Node.js, various other frameworks. And these things, they're abundant. Join Facebook groups. Um, there's the dev center groups that's located in like each major town. You should join those. They have events, they have meetups. Participate in your community. Those people in your community, network with them. They will help you get jobs. Um, and then certifications. Like right now, what are you doing? If you're not doing anything, certify yourself. There's a ton of different. If you're doing like data science, there's data science certification. You can go and get a JavaScript certification if you need to be. These things, although like I wouldn't say are the best ways of getting a job, they show that you're willing to put in the time to upskill, and that helps like pad your resume and so on and so forth. And I know for sure that for most of you, you already know this, and I'm telling you things that you already know, but it's very important. And this is not to say you should do every single thing on here. pick what works for you. If you're a social media junkie, leverage Twitter, leverage LinkedIn, maybe even Instagram. I really don't know how you would do it on Instagram, but um, I keep like connect with people, genuinely connect with them, and then go to EDX. EDX has a a ton of free university level engineering courses. And this is key for upskilling. If you're not coming from a traditional computer science background, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't understand um, fundamental engineering concepts, and you can learn some of those on the job, but most of it you have to go and seek out that information yourself. So EDX, if I was to show you this, um, oh, my laptop is almost done. There's courses from MIT. MIT is the best tech anything school in the world. There's Harvard, Berkeley, Boston U. These are there's so much free content out there for you to learn. And if you're not willing to just learn on your own, it's hard for people to like spoon feed you or to want to be able to like spoon feed you the information. Um, so um, okay. Um, all right. So upskilling. Upskilling is basically just gaining more skills in the field that you want to grow in as a human, or for a career, for whatever. Just being able to position yourself for more responsibility, for more senior roles, and eventually more pay. Um, and I'm going to transition this to sort of what we do at Enye is especially this is upskilling. Um, we want we have this sort of pyramid of your engineering sort of life cycle. You start off as a coder, and then you become can we be informed when the Enye hackathon starts? Yes, you can. Ibrahim, just follow us on our website. It's enye.tech. uh, we will let everyone know when the hackathon start, and we'll also be advertising on various platforms for it as well. Um, and so that's mainly what we focus on at Enye. Our pyramid is you are a coder, and then you gain some skills, and you start working, you become a software engineer, and then above software engineer is something that we call a product engineer. And a product engineer understands the full life cycle of product development. you know they can sit there and really think about the idea. They can do UX, UI. They're able to product design, maybe not on a professional level, but on a basic level, on a working level. And of course they can also develop and build the software. We truly believe that this is the next level, um, after software, just being a software engineer that can just build code. Then there is this thing. It makes you more well-rounded. You have more skills. You've upskilled, and you're positioning yourself for what, a more senior role. And when you list that on your resume, it 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 um, it vibes. These recruiters see this, and they are willing to uh, oh man, so much. I'm the administrator and doing all these things. They're willing to like say, okay, look, this person has a potential to come onto this team and bring value. So this, like, positioning yourself as a product engineer makes you a valuable asset at whatever company you go to. Um, and then so at Enyo, we want to take it a bit further than just upskilling you. we think that's great, but that's just the starting point. We are trying to address, if we go back to this problem here, we're trying to address on some level. First is level 3, next is level 2, and eventually level 1, and and the only way we can do that is by pairing these startup companies in Nigeria who have great ideas with these product engineers who are able and capable of building these ideas. So we're trying to bridge that, and so that these startups that are complaining that they don't have high quality engineers, they won't have to complain, because you can see it immediately that these people are able to deliver and build this out, and if they can build it out, then you place them, you give them a job, and you employ them, you pay them a good wage, and that relationship burgeons from there. What we really, our mission, our goal is like absolutely to to foster and enable the Nigerian tech economy, the whole tech ecosystem. But our number one goal is job placement. We want our engineers to be employed. We want our founders and startup companies to employ. So, so for those that succeed in terms of they get through our program, they meet all the marks. We are confident in their skills. We will place them within our network, and then additionally, we will first we'll try to place them with the founders that they work with, and then lastly, we will place them within our network. And the demand is there. People need high quality engineers. The biggest issue is not that there aren't these opportunities. It's just that they're like people are hesitant, to give them, because the interview process is very costly. You need to pull in your senior engineers. Like each hour is a lot of money of their time that they're not working on the project or on the company and interviewing. You're gonna have to do this a lot of time, and then after you interview, you spend months sort of training and upskilling the engineer, and that is a lot of money that you're paying them. Um, so like companies are a little bit more hesitant, and they're really, really picky. And with our whole funnel, we're trying to sort of make it very straightforward and no brainer for them. They're getting the best engineer that they can, within reason. So with that said, I'm going to sort of end it there. We are like an hour and so past time. I I think the mistake that I made here was I did not include my email. It's uche@enye.tech, and you can find us at Enye, oh Jesus, tech, right? So yeah, are there any sort of again, questions, concerns, comments about any of what I've said? I know for sure that I was very sort of high level. These strategies are well known, and now it's up to you to go and actually act on it. And there's no one is going to reward you for inactivity. You have to be proactive. You have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone. You have to be creative, or you can just shoot and pray, and maybe something will land. But if you put in the effort, that company that will hire you is there. It's absolutely there. Um, cool. Any questions, concerns?
Thank you very much for the lecture. I actually have a question, but I would like to really I would like to reflect on it, and then possibly when the question is well formed, I would send you an email. So I hope that is welcomed by you.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's not a problem whatsoever. Yep. If it hasn't been thought through, email is right there. Yep.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay. Faith, do you have a question? I'm just gonna be going through the list here. Okay. I'm not gonna put anyone on the spot. If there are no other questions, I will hand it over to Lucy, and then she will round it off for you guys.
Okay, thank you so much, Uche. Thank you so much for jumping in. Was yeah. If not, I wouldn't have known what would have done. So I don't know if we have any other question. We still have Uche's email here, just in case you want to reach out to him much later. You can freely reach out to him. And he's also on the Telegram group, so you could also chat him up on Telegram if you want to have ask questions. So regarding the slide, would you be able to share it with us, Uche? Someone asked if we'll get the slide.
Absolutely, I can share it right now. It takes 3 seconds. Yes, I'll share the slides, and then I will send over
The record.
the like my part of the recording, because there's two parts, right? I'll send that over to you guys as well.